Hey everybody, it's Romania Black, and it's time for the penultimate episode of season 1. You know, I was really hyped up for this episode, and as I'm recording, episode 22 just came out on Patreon, and so I'm recording a little bit ahead, and I was feeling really good going into this penultimate episode, because last episode, we had this insane reveal that Annie is the female Titan. Armin, the animation on his face was just incredible. We had this just cat and mouse game that was just all building up and then just exploded at the end with this bomb-like transformation and just left us on a cliffhanger. And so I was really, really hyped. And then this morning, I saw some comments under episode 22 that I haven't thought about for about a week. And the comments, Space Monkey, Rayad A, and Tanya all pointed out that in episode 22, and I'm sure y'all have commented on YouTube at this point as well about this, but commented saying, oh, by the way, did you realize that little logo, that little emblem that Levi took off of that jacket, that wasn't Ivan's because they hadn't got his body yet? That was Petra's. No, I didn't realize that. That's totally over my head. And they're like, yeah, and so he gave it to Dieter to distract him from Ivan's death. And Levi, so basically Levi sacrificed his own personal memento, his memento of Petra that he could grieve over. He sacrificed that to Dieter, of all people, so that he could grieve Ivan and not be freaked out anymore. And so I was like, man, that sucks, because that means the one thing Levi had to remember her by, he just gave this random dude that's probably going to be Titan fodder next episode. I was like, awesome, great. But then it hit even harder, because then I was told, when Levi meets the dad, it hit me that Levi didn't have anything to give the dad. He could have gave the dad Petra's emblem from her jacket, but he couldn't do it because he just gave the emblem to Dieter saying it was Ivan's. So it's like, oh my God, I wanted to crawl under a desk and cry, because I was like, that's the most messed up thing. No wonder Levi looked so disheveled and so forlorn and just torn to pieces, because the one memento he had of his teammate, his comrade he dearly cared for, he gave up to someone that probably isn't going to be along for this world, and then didn't have anything to give the dad. Oh, this show. So that just threw me in a tizzy all day. I was like, I can't believe that. I can't believe I missed it, and I can't believe that. So thank you guys. Thank you for bringing that back up. I'm glad you did, though, because I would have missed it. I would have missed that detail at all. And that just adds another layer to Levi's character. In all seriousness, that just makes Levi that much cooler of a character. I'm like, dude, just a man among men. I can't even. So usually in the penultimate episode, things get crazy and shit goes down. And I'm not ready for that in this episode, because we're at Sina. We're in the heart of the entire kingdom, and she's a giant 15-meter tall Titan that can do some damage. And if you think about it, Annie's killed a lot of people in this season. She's killed at least half a dozen people we know, but there's the whole right flank, she was the cause of their deaths. She has involuntarily and voluntarily committed some mass murder here. So my fear is, thinking about it since last episode, my fear is that if they get a hold of her after she turns back from being a Titan, they're gonna kill her. They are not gonna let her go. There's no way. They'll dissect her. So that's terrifying, because I'm so conflicted about Annie's character. I want to like Annie, because at the beginning of the series, I really liked Annie. But she's made so many... The whole thing with the persona at the end of the last episode has called so much into question on her. And I don't know who the true Annie is. I feel like the true Annie is still the calm, cool, collected Annie we've seen. I feel like the happy, giddy Annie is a persona. But I don't know. And just... Oh my gosh, Armin's animation on his face and him just feeling so betrayed and angry and frustrated and sad. And then Eren being Eren and Mikasa being like, peace out, we're done. This girl nearly killed... Because if you think about it, Annie nearly killed Mikasa. She nearly killed Eren. She nearly killed Armin. She nearly killed Jean. She nearly killed Reiner. She killed a bunch of other dudes. She killed all Levi's squad. She nearly killed Levi. His whole foot thing. That's something else I wanted to bring up too. Someone was talking about this in episode 22 as well, that Levi has been built up to be this like really OP Titan killer, and you would think that Levi could get the job done, but the way that he landed on her hand in episode 22, that just lends me to believe, I believe it's the author's way of getting him out of the conflict. Like, he won't be able to fight in this fight because of that leg injury, because he knows it's going to be a handicap and it's going to make him vulnerable. And with this female Titan, with Annie, you can't be vulnerable or she'll kill you. You can't just be you've got to be on your game 120% 24/7 or she's going to kill you. So I feel like that's the author, the mangaka's way of getting Levi out of this fight for this season, because Levi's injured. I feel that that's their out. That's the way the mangaka can do it. I could be wrong, but I won't be surprised if Levi sits out most of this fight. He may deal the killing blow. He may deal the final move, but I feel like he's going to be out of this fight for the most part because of that injury. Because of it. And of course, it was to save Mikasa. Someone else pointed out too, and I made a note of it, of the price of not following orders, or rather the price of not trusting your comrades. And this was a really good point brought up on Patreon about not trusting your comrades and the price of that. Because, you know, Eren, for all he says about he should have transformed way back when, yeah, you can argue that, but he could have also escaped if he had trusted his comrades. But I think with Mikasa, she kind of proves the point too, that if Mikasa had just trusted Levi and not tried to go in for the kill with the female Titan, then Levi's leg wouldn't have been injured. And he possibly could have been a bigger player in this fight. I don't know. We won't know till the episode's over. But I just feel like I love this show is tackling the idea of actions having consequences, and that trusting people is important because you don't know the role those people are going to be playing and the trajectory of their actions. And I think that episodes 21 and 22 show both sides of the coin. It shows that, yeah, on the one hand, you do have to trust yourself. Trusting your comrades completely maybe isn't the best idea, as we see with Eren. But also, if you don't trust your comrades, you also have to deal with the consequences of that, which we see through Mikasa and Levi. So, it's the penultimate episode. We have this episode next week, and that's it for season 1. And I'll talk more about, at the end of this reaction, about next week and the reactions. But I'm so excited for this episode. I am nervous. I had to have a glass ready because I'm like, I don't know what's going to go down. But usually the episode before the finale, things get real, and then the finale has an epilogue maybe. I don't know. There's an after credit scene, so I've been told. So we shall see. But I have rambled enough, y'all. It's 8 minutes in. Let's start this. I know y'all can't wait either. I can't wait. I've waited all day, and I'm really excited. So let's do the darn thing. Let us start episode 24 of Attack on Titan, Mercy. Gee, that sounds fun. We're going to start that here in 3, 2, 1. See y'all on the other side. Oh, this episode was pretty... It was as crazy as I thought it would be, but it was a lot more, a little more low-key than I thought. The flashbacks, there was a little bit more flashback than I thought there would be, but man, Eren, I want to have a talk with you. A long, hard talk. No, this episode was so good. Oh my gosh. What a way to lead into the season finale. So everything's going to go down the season finale. Annie versus Eren part 2 is going to go down next episode for the season finale. I don't know how we're ending this. It's going to be the end of a season. There's only 23 minutes. I say that, and then a bunch of stuff happens in 23 minutes. So it's all just insanity. But, oh my God. Okay, I want to have the sound off. I brought this up on Crunchyroll because I wanted to see what those marker cards in the middle did say. But, oh my God, so I really didn't expect there to be some of the things that happened this episode. Like, I figured that Levi would be out of the battle, and he's not even in his gear. He doesn't have his ODM gear because his leg is injured. So Levi's out of this fight, which is terrifying because Levi's like one of our best ones. But, oh my gosh, all the callbacks to things that were happening the things that were happening from previous episodes, the conversation between Armin and Jean, that were happening, like them all getting brought up to Eren, like so much stuff was referenced and called back to and confirmed that it's just so satisfying. But okay, so Eren and his whole issue with Annie, we need to talk about that. So Eren seeing Annie transform into the female Titan. Here's the thing. Eren has never seen someone transform into a Titan before. He doesn't know what it looks like when he transforms. He's usually so consumed by rage that he doesn't really understand the process. So this is his first time seeing a Titan transformation from the outside. And we see that she has the stuff over her eyes, and she's like getting in gear with the kaiju, and it's all developing around her, like what it did for Eren. But I feel like with Annie, it's so controlled, you can see every little detail, whereas Eren, it just like happens, and it's just like, meat puppet, here we are. But the incompetency of the military police, we need to talk about that. Jean and Armin, we need to talk about that. Mikasa, we need to talk about that. And Eren and Annie. And then Erwin. Hanji. All these characters. We need to talk about them, because it was such a showcase. Like, even Levi's little scenes that he had was so good. I love that Levi holds his cup like a certain way. It's very cool. But yeah, Levi's out of the fight as we know it for right now. He doesn't have his gear. He's not dressed for combat. He is just in civilian clothes. Still has his nice little handkerchief. But yeah, so Levi being out is a problem because he's like one of the most competent people they have. And with him not there, I'm a little bit concerned about Hanji and this bullet in the eye. I'm a little bit concerned about that in the OP because she still has both of her eyes. So I'm like, Hanji, be careful, girl. Like, she was so badass this episode. So badass. I can't even. The ladies in this episode getting shit done. Even Annie too. Like, just. So we do need to talk about this episode a bit. So I like that the scene Levi with Eren, and Levi being frustrated that Erwin and them are keeping him waiting, and that he wants to talk, because you clearly know he wants to talk about this before the military police escorts get there. And of course, Eren's just sitting there like, okay, sir. You know, just sitting there like quietly waiting, like, okay. And Eren feeling guilty about Levi's leg getting injured. So I guess it's common knowledge now that Levi has a leg injury. And I like that Levi says, I always talk a lot. Like, you just aren't listening. And I just, it's so sad because you can see that Levi still looks torn up about everything that's happened. Like, he looks so torn up about it. And about his leg. And then Eren feeling guilty, saying, I'm sorry if I hadn't made the wrong choice. And Levi says the exact same thing that Armin has been saying. He's like, you don't know what the wrong choice is. You can't know until it happens. He's like, I told you, no one ever knows how things will turn out. You just gotta go with what you feel will have the least regrets. Eren should have a lot of regrets after this episode, to be honest. And we're going to talk about that. Eren, my beautiful, frustrating protagonist, I love you, but you frustrate me to no end. And I love that it's Armin, Mikasa, and Jean that are there, because they all have ties with Marco, with Eren, with Annie, with the military police, with the 104th Training Corps. I love... if y'all don't like Armin and Jean, I really don't know why. Because Armin just saved Eren's life this episode again. Jean just saved Eren's life again. Like, yeah, Jean being we'll talk about all these characters. There's so much that happened this episode. But Erwin, them laying out the plan was very expert. And I like that they had plan A, plan B, and plan C. So I like that we're establishing that Erwin is a multi-layered strategist. He's like, okay, here's plan A. Plan A goes well. That's great. If plan B has to happen, then Eren, you're going to need to transform. And he's like, okay. And you could tell that he looks suspicious and anxious about it. And Erwin's like, yes, we know the target. Levi brings up a good point that there's no conclusive proof that it's Annie. It's just going off of Armin's hunches and his deductions that he's made, but there's no concrete evidence. And maybe that's like a seed in Eren's mind of doubt. But we all know by now that Eren knows that it's Annie. So there's a lot of questions about this. And Erwin's like, look, we're not questioning this. This is who it is. And this is who we're going after. Is there a problem? So Stohess is not actually inside Sina. Stohess is like Trost. It's on the outside of Wall Sina. It's just a little district that they have to pass through to get into Sina. So funny that I like this season. We've gone through 3 layers. We went through the layer with Wall Maria. We've been the layer with Wall Rose, and now we're at the layer with Wall Sina. Very, very good like storytelling to move the plot forward. I like that. It's paralleling, but in different ways. And we kind of have a cellar scene kind of like at the start of the season too. And Armin, of course, is taking the lead on that as well. But the idea that she's just going to keep stamping out until she gets to them is terrifying. But Armin, what I like about Armin is Armin and Jean, like I've said in many episodes prior, show that they can be a leader. Armin was such a leader in this episode. He's like, we had the plans. We had Erwin's plans. We carried them out. We did A, B, and C. We did what we're supposed to do. Okay, A didn't work. Now let's do B. And he's just instantly ready. And Eren's the one questioning, like, how can you guys be okay with this? If it's Annie, how can you guys be okay? And for Mikasa, she's like, this lady nearly killed me and you and a bunch of other people. So yeah, don't have a problem with getting her. And then of course there's a tie to Eren, which we'll get to. And then Armin's like, no, she's killed our friends, our comrades, and she's trying to hurt you. Yeah, we need to take care of her. She just like stamped out 5 people in a row, like while they were standing there. So yeah, Armin proves to be such a leader here. And even Jean, when the civilians are all running one way, Jean's like running the opposite way. And I love when Jean looks at the military police. He's like, you guys are just standing there. He's like, is this what would have happened if I had joined the military police? He's like, what was I thinking? I was so proud of him in that moment. I was like, Jean, it made me so proud because he realized just how stupid it would have been if he had joined the military police. Like his talents would have been wasted. So it's like, it's so good that he stayed in the Survey Corps because he's so much more effective as a leader in that position. And so like Jean and Armin, dude, I don't want anything bad to happen to Erwin, but I'm like, y'all could become leaders at some point, even if they left the Survey Corps and joined the garrisons or anything, or if they have to restructure the military after this whole incident. That very well could happen because the way it is now, the military police isn't doing a damn thing, and I'm wondering if this incident is going to let Wall Sina know that their military police is pretty much useless, and maybe they'll have to restructure. So I could see if Jean or Armin end up becoming like the leader of the military police or something in the future to try to get order, then I could see that happening because those two would be really good and they'd be able to work with Erwin as leader of the Survey Corps. But so Eren's hesitancy, it was honestly really painful watching him bite his hand, and you could hear that crunch and him trying to bite, and he says that he'll just do it like he did when he was blocking the cannon shell, but I'm like, dude, when you were trying to do it back then, it was like really instinctual and you weren't sure what you were doing, and because of that it didn't work right and it failed. So yeah, you trying to force it this time isn't going to work either. And yeah, of course it doesn't work. And he's hesitant. And Mikasa, holy shit, Mikasa was terrifying in this episode. Her expression, she's like, why don't you want to get rid of Annie? Like, why are you hesitating? And so, here's the thing. Does Eren like Annie? I feel like it's not romantic or anything, but I feel like he views Annie as a friend, and he trusted Annie. And so, he doesn't want to think of the possibility that someone he knew and trusted could betray them like that. Like those reservations he has. He's like, we all trained together for 3 years. Why would she betray us? Like that hesitancy. But Mikasa's expression is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And she's like, do you like Annie? Because you can't like Annie. You're supposed to like me. It's like, and then she goes all yandere and goes after Annie like, you won't take Eren from me. And it's like, oh my God. Which I don't think that's it at all. I think that Eren's just like, she's a friend and she's in the same boat as me. She can become a Titan. There has to be a reason. And so he has all this doubt. But I'm like, Eren, you just spent the last 3 episodes lamenting that you didn't make the right decision. And so now you're worried about it. But in this situation, you're not making any decision at all. You're just filibustering and it's causing people to die. So I'm like, you need to just make a decision. Like either say you can become a Titan or just don't. Because which he ends up, thanks to Armin, getting the inspiration and tying it back to his mom dying. And it's like, yeah, if you gotta go there, go there. But, yeah, and then she's like, Armin's like implying that she took Marco's gear. Like, isn't that reason enough? She took a dead man's gear. She probably killed him. So, and then, oh my God, Jean being there when they're being like, what does Marco have to do with this? And Jean just sitting there, like, yeah, let's get this girl, because if she killed Marco, and tying that back, and Mika says, like, you knew it was Annie back then. I was like, I had said that at the beginning of one of the last episodes. I'm like, he recognized in that moment that it was her because of the training scenes. He knew it was her. And Mika says, like, you know it's her, so why are we having this whole issue? And then Armin's like, look, we can't sit around and wait for you guys to hash it out. We just need to put a plan in action or we're all going to die. And I just, oh my God. Armin just, okay, so I want to get to this part here. And of course, Eren gets crushed by the boulders and everything, because of course he does. All right, so Wall Sina encloses the capital and about 200,000 people. Residency requires special permission and is technically restricted to the royal family and their relatives. So, technically restricted means it's not. Technically restricted means that it's supposed to be just the royal family and their relatives, but I'm sure some people have pushed some money under the table and slowly made their way in because they're affluent or political or have, you know, prestigious family names or what have you. I'm sure that there's been people who have wiggled their way into Wall Sina to live comfortably, but 200,000 people, that's a big royal family though. 200,000 people in the capital. So, interesting. And I like that it requires, so not just anybody can move there to live. And then part 2 says one may also earn residency rights through meritorious service in the garrison or military police, which is considered the sole means for the poor to gain safe refuge. So this is going back to Annie's talk about wanting to survive, about Connie and all them wanting to live comfortably. Basically, the 200,000 aren't just the royal family, but the military and their families as well. And all the other people that have snuck their way in. So yeah, basically, if you want to seek refuge in Wall Sina, you need to make the military police. Interesting. Okay. That all makes sense. Cool. I love that the hand that has like the skull and crossbones on it, that's like going towards this hand that's light. That's really cool. I was a nervous wreck this episode. I was like, as soon as Armin and Jean started taking off towards the female Titan, I was like, nope. I was like, if either of them die this season, I'm going to be so pissed off. Because I'm like, we've built their characters up and you're going to kill them now. So yeah, Mika said does the Reiner move where she smashes through Annie's hand. That's the move that Reiner did. So I guess it makes sense now that Mika said could do that. But, oh man, and of course, Armin trying to save his friend. I'm like, I don't know how you can't like Armin, because Armin's a strategist. He's like saved Eren so many times. He's gave all the best like one-liners this season. Like, I freaking love Armin. But okay, so I wanted to point out here that as our Survey Corps and everything are fighting, I love that the people in the military police, they have no clue what's going on. They don't even know what a Titan looks like. They're like, is that a Titan? Why? Like, they don't realize the immediate danger that they are in with her being there. They don't even understand what it is for a Titan to be there. So that's mind-blowing to me. I guess we've spent this whole season dealing with this Titan issue, and now these guys have no clue what's going on. And they're all just standing there. There's like no protocol. They don't have any idea what to do. Now that they see her, they just know that, oh, what should we do something? But I wanted to point out that while all this is going on, we see Hitch and Marlowe. And Niles like, go see what's happening. So Marlowe and Hitch and some others take off to head towards the female Titan. Here's what I was gonna say. About Marlowe, and I didn't before we started the episode. I think it would be really cool if at the end of it all, Eren versus Annie is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But I think it would be cool if they apprehend Annie, if it's Marlowe that does it. I think it would be really cool if Marlowe's the one that does it, because Marlowe's whole thing in the last episode was talking about how he wanted to bring justice to those who were dishonest and who were disserving the kingdom, who were traitors to the kingdom and disserving it. He's like, I want to bring justice to them. And those two guys that were smuggling off military police equipment, he couldn't deal out justice. And so Annie's like, well, just shoot them. Just shoot them. They're a menace to society. Get rid of them. So it would be really, really ironic and cool if the one that takes Annie down in the very end is Marlowe, because she's an injustice to society. She's the menace to society in this moment. And Marlowe's like, you're doing a disservice to our kingdom, so I have to take you down. That would be cool to me. But what probably will happen is he'll probably die. That's a cool idea. That would be a really cool metaphorical moment and tie back to the whole theme of the show or whatever about, about being good and everything, and her asking if she's a good person, etc., etc. But that probably won't happen. He'll probably die along with Hitch. So, but I really think they could do something cool with Marlowe's character. So I'm going to be curious. We introduced him and gave him a character personality trait, so I'm curious if they're going to pay out anything with that. They didn't with some characters like Thomas and Marco. So again, or even if it was like Hitch, I could see Hitch dying, but I wonder if Marlowe will be the one to survive or not. I don't know. But man, Erwin being a freaking badass here. Erwin and Hanji this episode. Like, Levi's just standing there in his civilian clothes, can't do anything. The Survey Corps people give Erwin his gear. Jean comes out. Jean giving the best damn line of the episode. He's like, I'm done playing dress up. And then being like, ah. And he'd be like, don't you ever call me that name again, moron. Oh my God. I freaking love Jean. I absolutely love him. And then Levi being like, it's good that somebody has the balls to go. I freaking love Jean in this episode. He had the best one-liner. I love that. I'm done playing dress up. And so them turning their gun on Erwin, like, WTF. I just, he's the commander of the Survey Corps. There's clearly a problem. Y'all don't understand. And I like that they turn their guns on him like, you're committing treason. And he's like, dude, we got bigger fish to fry. And I love that right at the end when they're about to fire on him, Eren transforms. And Erwin's like, yup, plan B, baby. It's like, technically plan C because Hanji had to enact their plan. But, oh my God. And so, Jean, running past all civilians, getting to, and I can't express how much I love this scene. Because Jean is so, he's so relatable. Like, all of Jean's frustrations in this episode were my frustrations in that moment. Where he was like, Eren, you gave this big spiel about us depending on you. Way back in episode 4, you gave us this big spiel about depending on you. You said we should trust you. We're putting the faith and humanity in you. You told us in the courtroom to do that. Why are you hesitating? And then, I'm sorry, but if y'all have convinced me that Armin and Jean are best boys. I love them. But you have also convinced me that Marco and Jean, they might be an OTP. They might be an OTP for me. I'm fully convinced because I'm like, Jean saying, what the hell is wrong with you? And then saying like, we were told to depend on you. We're counting on you. We have to entrust the world, humanities, our lives to you. And you're just sitting there. And this is how you repay us. And then he's like, Marco. He's like, Marco died for nothing. Basically. Like, all of John's frustrations with Eren in that moment were my frustrations. I was like, come on, Eren. And then Armin giving him the cool one-liner that he said way back in episode, I think it was 18 or 19, might have been episode 20, where he said, I once said this to Jean, that you can't sacrifice anything and never change anything. That some people can give up their humanity to fight monsters. And Erwin's done that. And he's like, you can do that. Annie's doing that. So it's like, come on, snap out of it. And oh my gosh, I was such a nervous wreck watching this whole thing. And when Jean went for the nape and she used the skin hardening thing, I was like, please don't kill him after everything that's just happened. Please don't. But in the end, Hanji, God, she's so bad. Hanji they are so badass. Just the feral look on Hanji's face when they're like, yes, come into my trap. It's like, oh my God. But here's the problem. Hanji and Levi did the same mistake. You can't do talk no jutsu on Annie. You can't sit there and just talk your way through it like a villain monologuing. You need to get the job done. Annie is not going to wait around for you to monologue. Just do the damn thing. And of course, Hanji is like so in the moment that it just slips past him and they let her get out. That was such a badass moment. Like Hanji being like, I will devour all the information and drag it out of you. It's like, And then of course, Eren has to think back to everything that's happened. And it's the final shot of his mom being eaten that gets him. And every time Eren transforms into the Titan, his face looks more and more feral. And this was no exception. This shot of him just going up through that thing, impaling his chest, and then transforming, oh my gosh. We live in a cruel world. Yeah, Mika says, the world's cruel. Get over it. I love it. And then I just love that shot from Erwin when he just casually looks over oh yeah. Now what? Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. Here's the problem. Once again, we don't know about the Colossal Titan or the Armored Titan. We don't know. Are they in the city too? Are they in Stohess? Do we know? Here's the thing that's weird, is that Annie has seemed, for the most part in this series, to be acting by herself. Annie has seemed to be acting on her own volition. What I'm curious about is, one, who the heck is she working for? It's clearly, at this point, it's not anybody in the military police that are in Stohess, because they all act like they have no clue what's going on. So it's not anybody in the military police that's there. So it rules Nile out. So it still could be the government, but just the government isn't telling the military police what's up. So who's she working for? Does Annie even know the Colossal and Armored Titans? Because we've not seen, head nor tail of them since episode 7. So are they two different parties? I still don't know. Armin brings up we don't know why she's doing what she's doing. And that's the biggest mystery at this point. We've confirmed it's Annie. We've confirmed that she wants Eren for whatever reason. But we don't know why she's doing the things that she's doing. That's the big mystery. Why? But why? The title of this show, Attack on Titan. But why? So that's the big question. And I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if we'll get answers in the season finale for that. I don't know. Because I feel like most of the next episode is going to be Annie versus Eren. But I don't know. Are they going to capture her? Is he going to kill? I don't think Eren can kill her. I don't. I think that he's had so much hesitancy. I think maybe he could subdue her and corner her, maybe get her out of the Titan body, but I don't think he can kill her. So I don't know. I'm so curious to find out what's going to happen with her next episode and we're tying back to the OP, what the outcome of this fight will be, because in the OP it has Eren versus Annie 2.0, and it looks like Stohess. There's all the buildings around, but I don't know. I'm worried about Jean. I'm worried about Armin. I'm worried about Mikasa. I probably shouldn't be, but I am, just because I'm worried about Erwin. I'm worried about Marlo and Hitch. I think they're most likely to die because they seem like we just got introduced to them to have some kind of meaningful death. But I really hope there's more to Marlo than that, though. I really do. I hope there's more to Marlo than that. I really would like his character to have some kind of impact beyond just becoming Annie fodder for the next episode. But I guess we'll see. Oh my gosh, I'm so curious to know what's going to happen. So yeah, penultimate episode. One more to go for season 1. What I'm going to be doing is on next week, we'll be having the final episode of Attack on Titan season 1. And then my goal, because I want to stay on track, they've announced that season 4, the second part of season 4 is coming out in January. There's no way I'm going to get caught up by January. I think I'd pegged it to I'd be caught up by March, which I'm still going to try to go for. So probably by the time I get to the final part of season 4, it'll be ending or it'll be still in the process. So that'll be good. It'll still be going on when I start that final part. So I'll just be a couple weeks behind. I'll just be like 6 or 7 weeks behind schedule to catch up fully, but that's okay. Y'all will have watched it by then, and then we can all talk about it together. It's fine. But to stay on track with what I want to do right now, this week I'm going to be watching and reacting to Distress and Intruder, the 2 OVAs that are not technically canon, but one's about Jean and one's about the training corps. Then I'm going to be watching No Regrets, and then Ilse's Notebook. And then I'm going to be doing a recap and review video like Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, we'll have the premiere of season 2, episode 1. And then go right back to our regularly scheduled Titan programming. But lots of Attack on Titan reactions next week. I wanted to fit it all in a week. It's Titan week. It's like Shark Week, only it's Titan week. I'm so excited. I've had to do a lot of recording ahead of time to get prepped to do this. So it's been a little bit of extra work, but I've been so excited because I've been wanting to get to this point. Because y'all have hyped up, you know, you're like, season 1's the tame one, and then it gets crazy from there. I'm like, I'm not ready. So anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Please no spoilers. You guys have been amazing with not spoiling me so far, but please no spoilers. Let me know your thoughts down below. Just tag something, say don't read Romania if you don't want me to read it. And yeah, next week we will finish up season 1 of Attack on Titan, and then watch a bunch of OVAs, recap the season, and then start season 2. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for Titan Week. I hope y'all are too. In the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I'll be back next week very soon with more Attack on Titan.